These 5 beautiful girls have just murdered a man. That day's party was Jess's farewell to a member who was about to get married. The group decided to call a male stripper, who had six-pack abs to come for entertaining. But Alice was too excited that she jumped on his body. As a result, this dancer hit his head on the fireplace and died. It was supposed to be a fun time, but then became a crime scene. They were all panicked. Pippa claimed that they had to call the police, but Jess immediately said no, because she was running for state governor. Frankie also had 2 convictions before. If she committed a crime again, she would be sent to jail for 25 years for sure. When they haven't known what to do yet, the doorbell suddenly rang. It was a pizza shipper. They were rushing to pull the body over the sofa. Pippa was the calmest, so she was responsible for sending the shipper away. After eating, they also kept themselves down. Blair came up with the idea of calling her uncle, who was a lawyer, to ask for some information. They all agreed with it, but Frankie believed that they should use a burner phone to not leave any evidence. They were divided into groups and started the plan. Frankie and Blair went to buy a new phone. The other 3 stayed at home to watch the body, but then his eyes were just open and looking straight at Alice, which freaked her out. Pippa worked up her courage to walk over there and close his eyes, but he didn't close his eyes in any way. Finally, Alice had to put her glasses on his eyes. At the same time, a dog was barking outside. They found that there was a clear glass door behind the body. Everybody could see into the house from the beach. After getting a new phone, they immediately called a relative who's a lawyer. He said this case was rarely found as attempted murder. The first thing to do was not to move the body or the scene. Otherwise, they would be considered as an accomplice, and might be sent to jail for up to 15 years. Knowing the girl's situation, the lawyer just responded with one sentence: "There's nobody, there's no case." Getting rid of him seemed to be the only way. They brought him to a canoe, and were about to drive him to the sea. But when they haven't decided who would be the one to do that yet, a light shined on them. It turned out to be their neighbors. They immediately pretended to explore the sea, but the couple has already noticed the body. Luckily, Pippa quickly put him on the ground and kissed him, which made the couple let them go. She then put the body on the canoe, and then did away with him in the sea. The only things that they needed to do then were cleaning the evidence in the house, and creating an alibi. They went back to the beach to take some photos, to prove that they were not home. Then they could successfully get away from the crime. But at the same time, Alice found something wrong. There was a man lying on the beach in the photo. The body had just been done away with, got washed ashore by the waves. They were nervous coming back to the villa. Then, the doorbell suddenly rang once again. That was a police officer. Were their illegal actions exposed? The policeman didn't give Frankie a chance to explain anything, and immediately touched her sexually. To protect herself, she immediately knocked him out, which just made the situation worse. They did not only have a dead guy, but also an unconscious cop. They decided to hide the police somewhere. While moving the body, they found out that the cop who was lying on the floor was a male dancer. More surprisingly, he was the stripper they ordered, who was the man they accidentally killed earlier. The situation has got so complicated. After a long night, they were fully exhausted. Then a lot of arguments also started. Eventually, Jess decided to turn herself. She wanted to wash her face and put makeup on before going to jail, even though the rest of them haven't found out a way to deal with this problem yet. There was a sound at the corner. They found a mobile phone in the body's jacket. It was obvious that someone was looking for this guy. At this point, when they didn't understand what was going on yet, the doorbell rang again. They all ran to the door, and these men were real cops. The person that they were looking for was the stripper that just got killed. It looked like they couldn't escape anymore, so Alice was ready to admit everything. The cops were checking the body, and saying that this man was a fugitive violent criminal, who just robbed a jewelry store and killed a security guard. Lots of people were looking for him. Therefore, they were all no longer in trouble, and would have merit in solving the case. They couldn't hide their happiness anymore, so they all hugged each other tightly. Frankie was running to the bathroom to tell Jess, but Jess didn't hear anything because of the shower. The cops started recording their testimony as proof, since the jewels have not been found yet. But when Pippa paid attention to the news on TV, she accidentally found out that the stripper they killed had accomplices. They have 3 people on their team. Pippa suddenly shouted, "Tampon! I need a tampon." Her friends didn't get it. Why did Pippa shout so loud just to get a tampon? At that time, Blair abruptly remembered. She told Pippa yesterday that the tampon was their private signal. Whenever they saw a bad guy, they just needed to say this word out loud to make him go away. Blair then looked in Pippa's direction. There was a picture of the 3 criminals on TV. It turned out that the 2 guys in front of them were not cops. So Blair pretended to go get a tampon for Pippa. Simultaneously, Pippa also found a way to turn the TV off, but she pressed the wrong button to live stream, At this point, the robbers also revealed themselves. They were accomplices of the man killed. They all robbed a jewelry store but got in conflict because the division was uneven. The fake stripper just wanted to hide here, but unfortunately got killed by these 5 girls. The men tied up the women and the now awakened stripper and asked where the jewels were. Jess meanwhile has missed most of the drama due to being upstairs taking a shower in preparation for her mugshot. Realizing what has happened, she subdued one of the captors using hairspray and handcuffs. Then Jess took out a napkin and rubbed it on her thighs. Finally, she tied his mouth up with that napkin. Next, she jumped down from the 2nd floor and successfully fought off the other one. In the end, a rough night has finally finished. The next day, Jess and her fiancé had their wedding. According to their local regulations, manslaughter was not only innocent but also meritorious. Furthermore, Jess took advantage of this to spread her credits on the internet, which helped her attract a large number of fans and successfully win the election. Although the movie has received mixed reviews, it is undeniably entertaining. Let's follow us to enjoy more interesting movies.